That is not light enough. We need another camera record. We should have a behind the scenes camera going.
I guess this is what this will be.
Then it needs to be showing the whole thing. Like this. And this needs to be.
Oh yeah, baby, yeah. You're a
baby.
tiger. You're not recording it. Oh, you're recording. You're recording it.
Okay, so Remy messes with this all the time. There we go. I did it. I made it brighter.
Oh,
Was this the behind the scenes you want?
Yeah.
You're not even recording.
I didn't press play yet.
Oh my gosh.
Sit down. This is gonna be the greatest intro to podcast history. What are you doing?
Can we play our favorite song and dance to it before we get started? You know what? This is the thing. We're gonna dance to a song. Okay, we have to say here's hey Siri, and then like, what song do we want to listen to and dance to? Only like the intro and like the best part. I'm gonna say jump around.
Okay, I was thinking like a EDM. No, okay, yeah, sure.
Okay, well, like what kind of like Skrillex?
Nah, sure. Do whatever you want. Jump around. Hey Siri, play Jump Around.
Here's Jump Around
That's
by
not so
House of Pain.
Yeah. Please tell me that I can't, that I won't, that I fail, that I'll never make it out, yeah. Please tell me all the bad, never good, fill my head full of every single doubt, yeah. Please say any negative thoughts, I pop off when I hear people say I cannot. I get off to the thought of proving everyone wrong, I won't stop to the top, so you better back off and get lost. I'ma stay loud, stay proud, never running out, never heading south. I'll be spreading out, call it word of mouth, can't put me down, I'll be getting loud. You can have your doubts, not what I'm about, have your f***ing cloud, it be raining now, I keep making sound, go another round, I'm legend bound, can't stop me now. You don't wanna fuck with me, a slow burn like a disease. Just tell me that I can and I'll show you things that you couldn't believe. Just tell me that I can. Just tell me that I can. Just tell me that I can. Just tell me that I can.
Okay. Hey Siri, turn off. So.
You ready to get serious?
Yeah, I just realized the kids draw all over my pillows. Okay.
Alright, I might start a podcast, so. Yeah, once the camera
You're
hits.
so awkward.
Yeah, hell yeah.
I'm trying to get you comfortable. All right, so you know what? This is getting awkward. I need some. Okay, well, I'm gonna start off how I normally start mine off.
Shoot.
Why are you looking at me? Don't look. Don't look at me. You're not supposed to look.
That's how a podcast. Alright, go ahead.
Hey guys, welcome back to the magic room where the magic happens. But not the kind of magic you were hoping for. It's truth magic. You're welcome.
Yeah.
Yeah. Truth magic.
Truth magic, baby.
So we decided to start a podcast.
We did. Yeah, we've been influenced by a lot of people that helped her along our spiritual journey, and
It's been a journey.
it
It's
has.
been a very long, grueling, but nonetheless beautiful journey.
Oh, absolutely.
And so something that really inspired me to start this was a lot of people our age. I was just about to make a video on this too, so this is great. A lot of people our age, we're millennials, right? And our parents are like, go get a 9 to 5 and go do this and go do that. And it's
The
like,
typical norm of society.
right. Like my mom was like, go to college, get a 9 to 5 and da da da. And she didn't say go to church, but where we live, it's like, go to
Yeah.
church, and if you don't go, and da 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 da. So I feel like we were always trying to like fit into this box that we just don't belong in. And being in a small town, it's big now, but being in a small town, like
Yeah.
everyone knows everyone, and if you try to do something that like expands, they look at you funny. So
Yeah, and then everybody knows about it and everybody has something to say.
and they're judging you, and so like for me, I just got to a point where I was like, I literally don't care, and I moved out of town to like go through my processes alone. So I'm happy I did that.
Well, and that's what it takes in order to kind of step outside of that comfort zone. That's the thing about growing up in a small town, is like everybody knows everybody and everyone gets comfortable living here because it's that sense of comfortability where everyone's familiar with everyone, and if you go outside of that, well, then it's unfamiliar territory that you're charting, and it's like not too many people.
They're not okay with it.
No, nobody's okay with it because it exceeds past the limitations that they've set on themselves.
The limiting beliefs.
The limiting beliefs.
So what this podcast is going to do, well, I'm not going to say, I hope it does it. No, it's going to do this. I just hope that we encourage honestly, even if it's one person, but like encourage the people in our town, encourage the people that we know to...
Or anybody in general.
Or anyone, yeah.
Who are experiencing the same thing that we're experiencing, wanting to step outside of that comfort zone, wanting to experience more life and see what it has to offer, but being so scared because of the judgment that's going to be passed down on them. Like when you started your YouTube shorts or your Instagram reels, you have so many people sitting there having something to say, like, oh, this isn't you, or oh, it's funny to see you making these videos, I never seen you in that light. And it's like everyone's always going to set their...
It's like a preconceived notion of what you're supposed to be doing, and when you don't do that, they're like, why are you doing that?
Exactly.
And they hyper-focus on you. Like, I've had a lot of people, and they're like, oh my God, you're really doing that? And I'm like, yeah, I'm really doing that. And guess what? It pays my bills! So yes, I'm doing it. Yeah. And I'm doing really well. And like, I'm just starting off, but for just starting off, when I kicked off the 30 for 30, the first one, I literally got...
Go into the 30 for 30 for people who don't know.
Oh my God. Oh, I'm so excited. So when I first started my YouTube channel, I had this great idea, and it basically came from the left side of my brain, right? My brain is like, if I do 30 videos every single day, of a video every day for 30 days, whatever the case is, you guys get it. It's 30 videos for 30 days. Right. I was like, I can't fail.
Right.
And the only way, because of my, building businesses up from the ground up, you need something for people to look at. So nonetheless, 30 for 30 is just something that I like to do for me and for other businesses to get all your stuff out there. So I remember journaling month 1 all the way through 12 and setting goals, right? And I was like, at the end of the year, I'm going to have 252,000 views. I got that in 1 month.
Wow.
No, I lied. I'm right there. I'm there right now.
Okay. And it's been 2 months?
It's been 2 months.
You set an expectation for an entire year.
For a whole year.
So remember that conversation I was having with the video of the guy talking about being careful what kind of goals you set?
Oh my God.
Because sometimes in life we set goals for ourselves and either one or two things happen. We either hit that goal and we're happy about it. Yeah. Or we don't hit that goal in the time frame that we set on ourselves and we get disappointed by it. And it's like you had a goal to hit 250,000 views.
252,000 and some change by the end of the year.
Right, and you hit that in 2 months.
In 2 months.
That's incredible.
Right, so when people are laughing and pointing fingers and judging you, it's like, I have learned this, and I know you have too. When other people have something negative to say to you, it's really just a reflection of
themselves.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
So I'm like, I'm unbothered by it now. And so someone was saying the other day to me, it's like, at first they see it and they're like, oh, you're standing out, I don't like it. But then it becomes part of your identity and who you are.
Right.
And now my friends and my family are recognizing, like, okay, this is what she does. It's not just something she's doing for silliness. And if you do it for silliness too, that's fantastic.
Right.
But this is my job. This is how I feed my kids. This is how I have a roof over my head. So it's not just,
you making videos.
Right.
It's also you making a living.
Like, I'm not gonna look at you and be like, I can't believe you work a 9 to 5, or to anyone, or I can't believe you do that for a living. Like, what are you thinking? It's like,
right.
What do you mean? So I want this to inspire people to wake up. For one, wake up. And I've been noticing a lot of people, like even people in our church and like friends I've had, like even up north and here, they're waking up to like this new reality where we're not just like listening to everything we're told. We're really focusing on like our mental health, our spiritual health. And so, yeah, I just hope that this helps people like wake up and...
Yeah, I think it's because there's so many more content creators out there pushing on this idea that more and more people are starting to realize I don't have to think the way I've been programmed to think through school, through my parents that told me, oh, in order to make it through life, you need to go to school. You need to have this. You need to have that. You need to have a job with benefits, with this, with that.
Right.
Because that's what they grew up believing. We're living in a generation now where you can make reels, YouTube videos, TikToks, and make money.
I know. Yeah, there's this couple that they met in a dance studio, started making TikToks, and they're literally like they're literally famous.
See, just from doing something that they were passionate about and that they love.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And I'm sure when they first started off, they probably had plenty of people sitting there saying like, "Oh, these videos are cringy. Why are you guys posting this? Nobody cares."
I'm so happy you said that. Because they posted something the other day. I can't remember their names for the life of me. I feel so bad, but they don't go by their real names.
Okay.
They posted something the other day where they reached out to someone to do their choreographing.
Oh, okay.
And they were like, why would we use you? You guys are just influencers. Bruh, they're literally all over the place. Like, they choreograph for, like, I can't remember, of course, but huge things.
Nonetheless, yeah.
So, even when you make it to the top,
people still have something to say.
Always.
Yep.
So.
And I think when people kind of grasp that concept, that no matter what it is that you do in life, whether you work that 9 to 5, whether you go to college, whether you become an influencer, no matter what, there's always going to be somebody that has something to say.
Yeah, always.
So it's like, at the end of the day, why harp over that? Why harp over the, oh, what if someone has this to say, or what if this happens? What if... It's like, who cares at this point?
Right.
You know, it's like, it's your life. Why are you going to sit around doing what people expect you to do? Meanwhile, it's not what you want to do.
And also, to backpack off of that, so one of the very first things that like I like to teach people to do is to know themselves. Because until you wake up, you're on like this like programming. It's like you can't see or do for yourself. You're just seeing and doing what your parents are telling you to do, or your friends or whatever. And then you wake up one day and you're like, what am I doing with my life? Who am I? I hate my job, this. It happens to people all the time. Like literally, like, you know, when people go away for college or midlife crises or whatever the case is. But knowing yourself is so important, because when you know yourself, I feel like you can get like a better idea of like where in specifics like you're supposed to go. Yeah.
No, and the earlier on that you do know yourself, it helps to get that much farther ahead with what it is that you actually want to do.
Yeah.
Because when you wait too long to actually figure out who you are and what it is that you desire, you're caught in the trap already.
Yeah.
And then you're like, oh well, now that I know who I am, I can't do this because of X, Y, and Z.
Right.
So it's like, instead of waiting too long to be caught in that trap and then trying to figure it out from there, because once you dig that hole, it's hard to get out.
Oh my God.
It's possible.
Yeah.
But it's going to take a lot more effort.
I think it's crazy how, so people would always be like, how do you know? Like, that's so crazy. Like, how do you know? I remember, and okay, so I'm going to say this and then there's going to be more to it, but
Shoot.
I've always been this way. I know who I am. I know what I want. And if I see something I want, I get it. And I will work relentlessly until I get it. And people were always like, how do you know who you are? You're so young. And they just like disregarded me. And I'm like, because I'm aware of like how I feel and what I want. But you know, when you get to know yourself, those things change and everything like that. But why does society say that to people? Oh, you'll figure it out one day. And like, it's like a blanket statement, like, oh, you'll figure it out. And it's like, why don't you encourage them So like, you know what I mean?
No, because the majority of them still haven't figured it out themselves.
Yeah, and that's what's sad about this world is like they're like, oh, sorry, bye, moving on.
No, it's like you said, our generation that's coming up, that's becoming more aware.
Mm-hmm.
The parents, the grandparents,
Mm-hmm.
they were all programmed in a specific mindset that put them where they are. Like even with my parents, I was running a pool business for 5 years, and I was doing really good. And even then, my mom would still look at me and be like, well, why don't you go and become an EMT or a cop or a firefighter? And it's like, I'm doing so good with this business. Why would I take a step back to go do something that doesn't really speak to me as a person? And even though I'm no longer doing that business, I was still looking at it like, how can you see your child doing so good with a business that they really enjoy and still ask them to go be an EMT or a firefighter or whatever career path that they think is more suiting for you?
You are never going to find happiness chasing success. But if you really focus on being happy, that brings you success.
That's powerful.
It is. It's truth. You know truth when you hear it. And that's the power in this whole podcast. Like, there is so much truth here. And I'm not trying to be like, oh my God, this is the best. But it kind of is.
Yeah.
It kind of is, because people our age are starting to have these conversations. And these conversations need to be had because, like, we were not taught how to communicate. We were not taught how to learn about ourselves. We were not taught how to self-develop. We were not taught any of this.
We didn't even know what self-development meant.
No. And we thought, a lot of people, when I stepped into this light, is they were like, oh, you're on some woo-woo stuff. And I'm like, no. I actually am learning about myself and learning about my body and learning what I need. And it's, I don't even have words for it.
No, but it's the preconception that was already set on like, oh, you're going through a spiritual awakening, you're self-developing. That's like,
that's not allowed.
It's not heard. Not even that it's not allowed. It's just not heard of because people are just like, your education has to come from school, and anything beyond that just doesn't make any sense. Where it's like, once you start stepping into the self-development world and you start reading self-development books or listening to Tony Robbins and
Ed Milet, Lewis Howes,
all these people
Mel
who
Robbins.
all these people who are so influential that talked about where their life started and how over the course of a few years they change it with learning who they are, learning about themselves, and learning how to change their perception, like basically manipulating their reality.
And that's huge. That's literally everything. It's crazy, and I was telling you this earlier. I've been running into so many negative people lately, and it's just because of like the space I'm in. And it's just strange for me because I'm so used to like secluding myself in my own little bubble. So I think it was like a good little reminder to be like, you need to do this because the world needs this. I mean, think about like, you're on the phone with me today when I was getting my car washed, and every person working in there was like, oh my God, it's so hot, and they were so miserable. And I was like, hey man, you woke up today. You should just be thankful for that.
Absolutely.
You have a job. You get to make money here.
Yep.
You don't have to clean my car, but you get to clean my car. You get to.
You get to have a job.
Right.
You get to have a paycheck at the end of the month.
Out in the sunlight and meeting people, and so you get to do that. You don't have to be here if you don't want to be. You don't have to work outside. You don't have to do any of this. You get to.
And it comes down to perspective again, because it's what's funny is the same guy that's outside complaining, oh, it's too hot, I hate being out here. There's another guy that's inside of an office building saying, oh, I miss the sunlight. It's so miserable in here. All I see is walls all day long. I want to see nature. I want to see the outside.
I think it's important too to really like, okay, like people are always like, the grass is always greener, right? It's so true. So just be thankful for where you're at and what you have, because what you like, if you're gonna focus on the stuff that you don't have and what's wrong, that will always multiply.
Oh, absolutely.
And there will always be something wrong. But if you're like,
it's just it's what you're focusing your intentions on. it's like the typical car situation when you go buy a new car. Let's say you go and buy a Nissan Altima, right? Before that, you had a Frontier, Nissan, or whatever. When you buy that new car, all of a sudden you start seeing that car everywhere because now that's what your intentions are set on. You see that car every single day because now you drive it every single day. So now you're seeing it everywhere. And that's just like what we set our intentions on, whether we look at all the negative in life or all the positive in life.
Mm-hmm.
If you wake up miserable, you're mad, you go to work, one bad thing happens, your entire day is ruined because of that, well, you're just going to keep receiving more of that because that's what you're focusing on.
Yeah. There's this Bible verse. I feel like I say this in almost all of my videos and in a lot of my content. It's like, wake up each day with a grateful heart. But that is like so powerful because if you wake up and you're like, you know what, God, thank you so much, or thank you, universe, whatever you believe in, thank you so much for everything that I do have. When you even, I read this study and it was like, even if you, the very first thing you do in the morning is you wake up and you pick something positive, you think something positive, you're starting your day off right and you're attracting more of that good. It's like when people are like, oh, did you wake up on the wrong side of the bed? If you told yourself that, like, you're going to have a shit day.
Yeah.
Or a poopy day. You're going to have a really poopy day. Because, like, you're telling yourself that.
Yeah.
So, I want to know, I feel like everyone needs to know this. How, we're gonna go into some deep stuff.
Let's do it.
You ready?
Let's shoot.
How did you get to where you are, and what really pushed you, and what motivated you, and what motivates you every day? Like, just tell us everything. I'm here for it.
So, growing up when I was younger, I had two older brothers and I wasn't the most athletic, so they were always playing sports and I was just...
athletic?
In some areas of my life, I had some type of athleticism.
Oh my God.
But for the most part, I wasn't the athlete of the family, and it really honestly just wasn't something that I was like into.
Yeah.
But watching them grow up, get all the praise, get all the affection, and then be like the all-stars of the family, whatever, I always kind of felt like, I don't want to say left out, but like that I was just there. So growing up, I was like, I wasn't happy or satisfied with who I was and where I was in my life. And I always had like a deep feeling that like I needed more. I needed to become more. I wanted something more. And, you know, growing up, it didn't make sense at the time. I didn't understand it until I got older and started talking to other people who were on that path and who did talk about self-development and what it meant to them and how it changed their lives. And I started in a multi-level marketing company, basically a pyramid scheme. I didn't know any better at the time. And
okay, we've literally all been there, and like we kind of have a few friends. I say that loosely. We kind of have a few people like in our circle-ish that like we keep up with that
are still involved.
They're involved and they do pretty good. They do really well, so they did something right.
Well, it's because multi-level marketing.
It is exactly what it sounds like.
It is,
There's
and
lots of them.
There is a lot of them, and you know what? Some of them are actually legit. Some of the business structures are actually legit, and everyone's like, "Oh, it's a pyramid scheme."
Everything kind of is, though.
Everything's a pyramid scheme. Your 9 to 5 is a pyramid scheme because guess what? There's the guy who owns the company, then there's the managers, the supervisors, the employees.
Facts
if
are
you
facts.
look at it, that's basically a pyramid
facts
scheme.
Facts are facts. And like I remember someone being like, well, if they sign up under me, then I'm not making it. They're making money off me. I'm like, duh. Like that's how everything in the world works. Okay,
exactly.
so
It's like, oh, I'm not going to go to Sam's Club because if I spend my money, the company's going to get some of that.
Right. It's like, so you got involved with the.
So I got involved in it, and right off the bat, they told us, hey, you know, when you do this kind of business, you want to work on yourself as a person. You want to build your mindset and have, you know, you want to change your perspective and this, that, and the third. And I was like, oh, okay. So they gave us a couple books. They gave us some videos to go watch, and it shifted my mindset entirely. I started listening to a guy named Bob Proctor, and he started talking about the paradigm and what the paradigm was, and how when we're children, things get programmed in our subconscious mind, and as we get older, we don't even think about the things that we do on a day-to-day basis because it's programmed so deeply. So I started learning about that, and I realized, like, oh wow, our minds are powerful. The things that we like, how we think and operate, could be based off of things that were put into us by our parents or by friends or whatever. Mm-hmm. So I started listening to Bob Proctor, and I started learning how to really change my perspective on anything. You know, it's like you said, waking up on the wrong side of the bed because of one bad thing that happens. And I realized, like, as long as you constantly look towards the positive in your day, you could have a shitty day. Everybody has bad days. But as long as you look towards the positive of all that, mm-hmm. each and every day that goes by gets slightly better because you're getting away from that, like, that negative mindset, which I grew up really negative. Like, I was always hard on myself.
You were a negative Nancy to everyone, or just to yourself?
Just to myself. I was always really hard on myself. And then when I started doing all of this, it's like, it's hard to, like, even pinpoint, like, where it really all, like, started to make sense to me, because a lot of the videos I was watching, mm-hmm. but some of it wasn't resonating with me. But I think after, like, months and months of listening to all of it, it started to make sense. Like, oh, I don't have to worry about not being the athletic one in the family, because that's not how I identify. How I identify is me, Anthony. This is what I like. This is what I enjoy. This is who I am. And like you said in the beginning, knowing yourself. Mm-hmm. So once I started knowing myself as a person, my confidence shot up. My faith in what I was going to do in this world shot up. Everything just kind of shifted.
And two, it's like when you know yourself and you know the things you're supposed to be doing,
right? You're
good at those things. Like, if you tried to do the things that your brothers were doing, and I don't know if you ever tried to be into sports, and you were probably terrible, and I'm just assuming here, were you good?
I wasn't terrible. I played...
Or did you just hate it?
I played for a few years when we moved here to Florida, and I was actually pretty decent. Like, I was a great hitter. Fielding, I could have worked on, but...
The ball's coming, you're like, what? Me?
No, I wasn't terrible. I was pretty good at it, you know, but I was also young, and it honestly just, I enjoy doing so many different things that I couldn't be set on just that. Like, I couldn't be limited to just playing baseball, because I liked playing baseball, and I was interested in football, and I was interested in paintball, and I was interested in video. I was interested in so many things that I was like, all right, well, baseball isn't 100% where my heart is. Yeah. So I played for a few years, and then I sprained my wrist during a stupid incident, and I just didn't really want to play sports anymore.
Yeah.
So
I think too, like, I grew up as, well, I can't really say that because I had, like, Mimi's friends, Yolanda and the boys, and stuff like that. But anyways, my point is, I wasn't trying to be like anybody else, but I did, you know, at a certain age, try to fit in and do the things that those girls were doing, and I was like, why am I doing this? I don't even enjoy this. This sucks. Like, wow. Like, so really, truly, like, living for yourself is a beautiful gift, but you can't do that if you don't know who you are.
Exactly. And I struggled with that same thing in high school. You know, like, I wanted to fit in with everybody. I didn't want to be the most popular kid, because they had the outlook of, like, oh, the most popular kid are usually, like, kind of like the dickheads who think they're better than everybody. So I didn't fit in that group, but I also wasn't, so, like, I didn't fit in with the losers of the school.
It's kind of like everyone.
It was just kind of everyone, and I kind of just blended in. I kind of, like, so my cousin said something one time. He was like, oh, I'm like a chameleon.
Yes.
I blend into my surroundings.
That's
and I was like, that's what it is. I just feel like a chameleon. I just blend into my surroundings. So I could be around every single group in the school.
But that's powerful, because I feel like a lot of people, they're like, oh, I can't. Like, they can't, you
they
are
have to
able
structure
to be,
themselves to one group and stick with that group.
you are able to meet and influence and change so many people's lives because you're stepping out of a comfort zone. Right? So you're able to do that. I can't remember what it's called, but it's actually a gift. And so learning how to teach someone how to do that is hard, but
well, yeah,
you have that naturally.
Because everybody wants to fit in. And that's it at the end of the day. And it's funny because it's like going through that multi-level marketing and all that stuff, I learned early on that like it doesn't matter if you fit in with that group, because in 5, 6, 7, 8 years from now, you're not going to talk to them, you're not going to hear from them. Maybe you might still follow them on social media, but do you really care that much about them anymore? Unless you've made close friends with them, etc., etc. Cool, that's a different story. But I'm just talking about fitting in, wanting to feel like you fit in with that group. It's like, if you feel like you don't fit in, it's because you're meant to stand out. That's not who you are.
I feel like I never fit in. I don't feel like I fit in anywhere. I'll go anywhere and I'm like, I don't belong here.
Well, you also have a level of confidence that most people do not have.
Okay, I agree. Some people don't like that though, and they're like, you think you're better. And I'm like, no, I'm just confident. I think you're great. I think you're fantastic. Let me help you love yourself.
Right, yeah. Well,
I want you to love you because I love you. You know what I mean?
Well, because people grow up so, what's the word I'm looking for? Insecure.
Yeah, they
of
do.
themselves. That when they see somebody so extremely confident, their probably first thought is like, okay, well, you're different and you act weird, so why are you so confident in yourself?
Right.
Because I'm this and I'm that, and I don't have that level of confidence. And so it's like people just have limited beliefs on why people act the way they do, and like it's just weird. It doesn't make any sense to me, like why people are so quick to judge and put assumptions on other people.
Because that's what we're taught.
Yeah.
That is what we're taught. There's actually this little kid movie called The Croods, and in the beginning of the movie, the girl was saying, my dad won't let us do this, because basically it's stepping out of a comfort zone, and that'll get you killed. And it's like, I feel like that's exactly what the world does to us. Like, no, don't do that.
You'll get judged.
You'll get judged. And it's like, I really don't care. Like, I've always been this way, and...
But the fact that you had that so early on is so powerful, because at a young age, you realized that, and you took advantage of that.
I really did. I really did ride that wave. I'm still riding that wave. I'm like, this wave has been so good to me.
I'm just going to keep riding it.
I'm just going to keep riding it, baby. And that's not to say that I don't have, like I've always, I'm a woman, and I'm sure men go through this too. We're human beings. You know what? Pause. I cannot stand when people are like, oh, I'm a woman and I feel this. You can't understand me. We're literally both human beings.
Right.
And we do feel a lot of the same things. Like we share a lot of the same emotions. Like, yes, you have different levels of things in you, but for the most part, you know, there's a lot more to understand about each other than we say. But anyways, what I was going to say is through every stage of my life, of course, I go through changes and I go through whatever else. Besides the changes, you go through, you know, life. And so it's not to say that I've never been insecure, you know, because I've definitely had big chunks of life where I'm like, wow, I don't feel that confident right now. Or
so what is it with that you did in those moments to help you get over that hurdle?
Honestly, I think it was just like the grace of God. Really, truly, because there's one specific thing that I thought of, and I'll never forget this moment. I was on the phone with one of my girlfriends, and I won't go too in depth with this. You know what? I will. I'm gonna go all in because you just can't get the full.
Go ahead. You have to.
The full thing here.
You have to.
And this needs to be raw. You know, like I'm so sick of people putting out content that's fabricated and just crap. So this is real. This is real shit. So me and my ex-husband, we were never meant to really be married to each other. I do believe God gave us that relationship, but we weren't meant to be together forever. So anyways, we moved back to Florida from Hawaii, and we had 2 little kids at the time. Jamie was like 9 months old. Remy's 10 months older, so however old he was, babies. And the place we lived had a gym, and I went to the gym, and I remember thinking, I don't know how to do this. Like, I don't know how to, like, you know this. By the time Remy was 3 months old, we knew, like, this isn't gonna work. This is not a thing. This isn't gonna work. Like, we have to make a change. So, long story short, we get to Florida. I'm like, how do I tell him to leave? How do we part ways? And I remember working out, called my girlfriend, and I was like, this is my 5-year plan. I can do this for 5 more years. I was overweight. I didn't feel confident. I had a failing marriage, and in the eyes of the church, that's like terrible. I had mentors telling me, you have to stay married, and what you're doing is wrong, and all this stuff, and family members saying the same thing, and just, it was just really like an ugly, toxic situation for all of us, really, not just me. It was toxic for him too. So I remember telling my friend, I was like, I don't know how much longer I can do this. I can do this for 5 years. I was like, I got this. I have a 5-year plan. This is my 5-year plan. And I'm like not even halfway through it with it. And I literally just like, I just felt like my spirit like collapse. And I just like literally bawling my eyes out in the middle of the gym. And I was like, I'm not gonna fucking do that. Fuck a 5-year plan. This is my fucking life. I don't give up. I don't care what you have to say. You have to say. I don't care what a church has to say. This is my life, and I have the choice to do what I want to do with my life. Who are any of you to tell me how to live my life? And this man's miserable. So not only are you telling me what to do, you're telling him what to do, and then our kids are in this toxic environment that they shouldn't be in at all.
Yeah, and they're gonna get the impact of it most of all because they're watching 2 people who. So long story short, it was really truly just like when I had these moments of feeling like I couldn't go anymore and I had nothing left in me, truly nothing. I didn't feel secure in my body. I didn't feel secure in my relationship. I didn't know how I was going to pay my bills that next month. I didn't know anything. I have 2 kids to feed. I have myself to feed. So it was literally just the grace of God being like, I am your strength. You are not strong on your own. You're strong because of me. And you're not wasting this life. I gave you this life, so honor me. And like, that's my truth. That's what God spoke to me in that moment. He's like, you're weak, but I'm strong and you need me. And so the next day I said, we had that conversation. He left. And I mean, I don't know how I got through it. I just know I did. And it wasn't because of me. It was because like, I really truly depended on God. Every day I woke up, I was like, I need your strength. Yeah. So that's the only way. And then, little by little, I picked up the pieces, and the confidence came back, and you know, it just kind of happened. But I allowed surrendering. Yeah. It's surrendering to everything. And taking that leap of faith of trusting that as long as you're putting your faith into Him, or you know, obviously not everybody has a belief in God, but putting your belief in that there's something higher than yourself. This pillow literally wants my soul. I'm throwing this pillow away after this podcast. No, not unless you're buying me more, because I love those. They're my favorite. They just shine a lot. I'm sorry. Anyways. I pay attention. Threw me all off track there. What was I saying? Listen to this track. I don't know. No, but it's sometimes some people experience that like awakening in themselves where they're like, I know what I need to do. Yeah. And other people, it takes that traumatic moment in their life for that last chord to snap and then be like, I'm done with doing the same thing. Yeah. I'm done living the same life that I've been living, waking up doing the same thing that I've been doing. It's time to change my habits and everything else along with that. And then they just, after that, it's just one thing after the next that they start changing. And it doesn't have to be a rapid change right away. It doesn't have to be like, you quit your job, you go work for a firm, you go do this. It's like, no. Figure out which area of your life you could start working on first and then just build off of that. Yeah. If you're a procrastinator, well, try to complete 1 or 2 things a day that you would usually procrastinate and make a checkbox. You did this, you did that. Cool. Start going to the gym or go for a run or just start changing small habits in your life, and it's like a domino effect. And that's the best way you could explain it, because once it's like you lay these dominoes down. I know I need to do this, I need to do that. You work on each one individually. Okay, you're not happy with how you feel because you don't feel confident in yourself. All right, you can go to the gym and you can work on that. Boom. And then just one thing after another, and it just ripples into, and then like next thing you know, a year or 6 months or 2 years, whatever it is, you see like, I'm not the same person that I was. That 1.0 version of myself is gone, and now I'm a 2.0 version of myself that's that much better. Your perspective's changed, the way you get all excited over there. But it's just you need to be willing to make that change. We just get so comfortable living our everyday life that we don't like change. But if you're not happy with where you are, you need that change.
Living is not routine either, right? Waking up, brushing your teeth, blah, 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 blah. That's not living, sweetie. That's doing what the bare minimum of what you need to do to leave your house.
Brush your teeth though, because if you don't, that's nasty.
So I love this. I love this more than anything. It starts and ends with you.
Yes.
And it's like, oh, I didn't get to go on a run today. Well, you know what? Then you didn't go. Because it's you versus you.
Absolutely.
You have no one else to blame but you. Like I was telling you today, I was in this office and they had an affirmation. So an affirmation is like, I am strong, I am loved, I am this. So I looked and I was like, I am not surprised. And so I had someone say to me, wow, this has been like the past couple of days. I feel like I have like these crazy shifts in my life very frequently because I'm on this like journey and I'm like, I'm running. Sometimes I'm slow paced and sometimes I'm like full speed ahead. And I feel like I'm learning so much, even in this week alone. But someone said to me, wow, you're so wise, and wow this, wow that, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like thinking to myself, I'm not surprised. And how are you surprised? Because I wake up every single day at 5 in the morning with you. So you know that I do. I wake up every day at 5 a.m. Sometimes I go back to sleep for like 20 minutes. Sometimes I don't, but regardless. Or 2 hours. Calling me out. Or 2 hours. But
I keep it raw, remember?
This is true. I don't wake up every single day at 5 a.m., but 75% of the time I do. And I meditate. And I pray. And I worship.
Right.
And I work out. And I have a list that I go through. I literally have a list this long of the things that I do, and I check it off. And I get more done in a day than some people get done in a month, literally. But it's because I prioritize and I get those things done.
Yeah.
So like I was saying to you, I'm not surprised. Like, would you be surprised at your paycheck if you didn't show up for work for a whole week? You'd get your check and be like, oh my God, where's that extra, $1,000 or $2,000?
Right.
And your boss would say, how are you surprised? You didn't show up.
Right.
You should be thankful you even have a job. And so it can be on the contrary, like, yes, I have this amazing relationship because I showed up for myself and I raised my standards and I refused to settle for anything less than what I deserved. So God, I'm like praying the other day and I'm like, God, oh my God, I can't believe I have this amazing man in my life. And he's like everything I've always prayed for. Like, how is this real? And God's like, how are you surprised that this man is in your life? Because you said no and you raised your standards and you didn't settle for anything less than what you deserved. So how are you surprised? How are you surprised that you are on this journey of self-development? It's because you show up for yourself.
Yeah, absolutely. No, that's strong, that affirmation. I am not surprised.
I am not surprised.
It might take like a little while to grasp what that actually means, because it's like, I am not surprised. Like, I don't get that, but like once you explain it like that, it's like, oh, now I understand. Like, I eat junk food all the freaking time, and I don't work out, and I sit in my room doing nothing, and I gained 50 pounds. Oh, why do I look like that? Why are you surprised?
Literally. Oh, I can't find a good job.
Have you been looking?
Have you been looking? How many job applications have you put in?
Mm-hmm.
You're not, you're not woke yet, and you don't understand the things that maybe other people do, but you're not truly like working on yourself daily.
It also goes to like when I was, so because of working the 2 jobs right now, it's been hard to go to the gym. But when I was really on my grind with the gym, it was like 5 months straight. I was working out 5 to 6 times a week, eating healthy, all of that. And people would be like, "Oh, you're in such great shape," and some people would be like, "Oh, you must be taking something," and it's like, I'm not surprised that I'm in the shape that I am because I put in the damn effort every single day. It was not easy.
People don't recognize how much goes into the things.
People think it happens overnight.
Yeah. You know what I just thought of is, so not to call anyone out, but my mom. But my mom, she'd get in this relationship, they break up, it happened all the time,
Mm-hmm.
and we'd like be going to the store, and she'd be like yelling at the car in front of us, "Oh, you think just because you drive a Lexus or a Mercedes, you get to hog up the whole road, blah, 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 blah." And I'm just sitting there like, "Oh my God, you're gonna complain about everything, aren't you?" And then we'd get to the grocery store, and she'd be like, "Stop holding hands!" She'd like yell at the people, "Oh my God, ew!" Like barf in my mouth. Yeah, she'd like, I'm like, "Oh my God, this is terrible." She's a handful. I think I might get a little bit from her. I'm so loud. No, I don't. I really don't.
You're not loud.
No, not at all. No, it's fine. It's fine. So she'd be like yelling at these people, and it's like, those people aren't dating the people you're dating. You're dating losers.
Right.
This
Right.
is your choice.
Right.
You don't work,
Mm-hmm.
so you can't get that car.
Yeah.
How are you surprised?
Right.
And why are you surprised?
It's funny you say that. Like, it's like people who are in bad relationships, like toxic relationships, and then you get into a good relationship, and you might be in that relationship for 2, 3, 4 months, a shorter period of time, and they've been in that relationship for a year or 2 years, and their relationship sucks. They're dealing with chaos all the time, arguments all the time, and they look at you like, "Oh, you might talk highly of your relationship, but you're just in the honeymoon stage," and it's like, okay, yeah, maybe, but also me and the person that I'm with, we've developed a good bond. We
James
treat each
Bond.
other. Not that bond.
James
Not that
Bond.
bond. You develop that foundation with each other to respect each other, and we talked about. Most people think a relationship is 50-50, and that is the stupidest thing to ever realize or to ever think. And it took me a while to figure this out myself. But a relationship is not 50-50. It's not 75-25. It's 100-100. You both need to be showing up, giving each other 100% every single day
Mm-hmm.
in order to get 100% from each other.
I agree.
You can't give somebody a half-assed version of yourself because you're going to get that exact same
And that's
thing
why it's
back.
important to know yourself and to work on yourself.
Exactly.
Because if you don't love yourself, how are they supposed to love you?
Mhm.
If you don't even know how you need to be loved and what you need to feel loved or whatever the case is, like your love languages,
Mhm.
they can't love you. They're gonna be
Right.
loving you backwards, and they might be trying to love you to the best of their ability, but they like have no idea, So yeah, no, that's powerful stuff too. And
also, I think something people should also like keep in mind is this: if you've ever been in toxic relationships and you've been in a lot of them, if every single time you get out of that relationship, you're sitting there like, "That was the worst damn relationship. I hate this person, this, that, and the third," you're just as much as that wrong as that person if they did anything bad to you. Because instead of walking away with hatred in your heart,
you gotta leave
reflect on it. Think about it. Like, what could I have done better? What could they have done better? What did I not like? What did I do?
Wow.
You know what I mean? It's like, what did you like in that relationship, or what didn't you like?
Wow.
There's always a takeaway from every relationship that you're in.
OMG. My younger self is like kissing your face right now. Literally.
Well, let's
Keep talking.
No, but seriously, and I'm guilty of it myself because I would get out of relationships and I'd be like, "Oh, this person sucks, this, that, and the third," and it's like, you know what? No, that just wasn't my person.
Mm-mm.
We weren't a fit for each other. We weren't a good match, and that's okay. That's fine. They're gonna find somebody else that loves them more, and they love more, and I'm gonna find somebody else, example, that I love more and I want to be with more than anything. And so what is it that I could get from that last relationship? Okay, was I not showing up enough? Was I not more attentive? Was I not a good enough provide? You know, it's like there's something in every relationship that you could take away. Or
that's beautiful.
Can I not be somebody that could deal with somebody that has this going on in their life, whether it's life trauma or any mental issues or whatever, because it takes a strong person to be with certain people.
And a lot of people do deal with that.
Mm-hmm.
But also,
respect to you, because it's not easy.
It's not easy, but sometimes like it happens to people out of nowhere.
Right.
But that's the importance of knowing yourself, like for you and for the other person.
Right.
Right? Because then you have to say, like, say you met me and I was like, you know, you think I'm great, all this stuff, but I'm like, but man, I really struggle with anxiety and depression.
Mm-hmm.
You'd be able to say to me, okay, I really respect you and I appreciate you, but like, you can go about that in 2 ways. Like, you know what? No, you can't say to someone like, I'm gonna fix you. I think it's like really important to like understand like
you're not
have
Bob the Builder.
You're not Bob the Builder, boy. You're you.
You ain't about to fix nobody.
No, and so like I learned that,
mm-hmm.
and can I just say something? I really appreciate that about you, that you say those. You don't just say things. You're not just saying that to sound good. I have a really good friend, Haley, and she actually taught me this. She was like, when you meet a guy and you go on a couple dates with him and you think he'd be like a good fit for you, ask him this question. And she would say, ask, what did you learn from your last relationship? And I was like, that's weird. Why would I want to talk about the last relationship? And she's like, because...
That's funny that she asked you that.
Oh my God, she's amazing. She's very wise. But she was like, how they speak about their ex
mm-hmm.
and the things they have to say is really a reflection of them.
Right.
Right?
It also shows their maturity level too.
It does.
Yeah.
So I might have maybe asked you that because I feel like that's just something I naturally ask
mm-hmm.
everyone just to see what they say.
Yeah.
Maybe not.
We've been so caught up in because.
But you might have said it first.
We have like a lot of these deep conversations, so it most likely have come up in a conversation.
I'm almost certain it did because I ask everyone that question.
Mm-hmm.
What did you learn in your last relationship? And you want to know something? You know this. I'm huge on respect, right?
Right.
If you ask me how I really feel about my ex, I'm gonna say, you know, he just wasn't my person.
Mm-hmm.
And I learned from that relationship
mm-hmm.
that you have to really know who they are and understand who, you know, both parties are. But here's the thing. I am choosing to meet you exactly where you are.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not asking you to change. I'm not asking anything of you. You are who you are and I am who I am. And that was huge for me because when I met you, that was something that I knew. I'm like, I am not here to change him. And I say this to you all the time. No pressure.
Right.
You do what you need to do and
mm-hmm.
I do what I need to do and we flow. It's a flow. But like, you can't change anybody.
No.
It's not your job. It's not your place.
They have to be willing to do it themselves.
Yeah.
And I picked up on that after a few relationships because I would see that. The people that I was with, they would have areas in their life that they lack certain things, and I would try to kind of like guide them with it because I was on that self-development journey, in like by myself before I got into any of these relationships.
Yeah.
So it's like I already had a different perspective on life and the way I looked at things in this world. So it's like when I would be with those people, I would hear them say certain things and I'd like try to just give advice like, oh hey, instead of looking at it like this, look at it like that. And it would just be like, yeah, whatever. And when we would break up, they would flip, they would change, they would go either get the new job or go do whatever the case may be that I was trying to help them get to
mm-hmm.
or guide them with or whatever. They wouldn't do it until after we were separated.
Well, maybe you helped them.
Maybe, but I just think that if people do have things in their life that they're lacking in, once they're comfortable in a relationship,
Mm-hmm.
they don't feel the need to work on that.
I literally just said that yesterday.
They're just like, yeah, I know I need to work on this, but I got my person. It's complacency. And once they lose that person, let's just say, like, girl or guy, for example, they're not happy with their body and they know they could change their body and look better. But they've been in a relationship for a while, they're complacent, they're like, why do I need to change my body? They love me anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And whether that person does love you or not,
this is so meaty.
it's still good for yourself. It's still good for your soul, like, to just work on yourself and better yourself. But whatever, they stay who they are, they don't change. Boom, they break up, that girl and or guy are like, oh, I'm gonna get back at them and I'm gonna go get the body I always wanted to have. And they go hard in the gym and they get a great body and they're on social media like, look at my body now, isn't my body so great? And it's like, if we as humans realize that if we work on ourselves and fix those things about ourselves before getting into a relationship, then we're not gonna have to sit back and like be like, oh, well, why didn't this relationship work out? What do I need to fix about myself? It's like, whatever issue you have going on, fix it before you get into a relationship.
Well, I was like literally saying this yesterday. I was like talking to one of my girlfriends and I kind of forgot where I was going with this. Of course. But
the
complacency and like you need to like love yourself and be 100% for yourself before you can allow someone to love you. And it's like, it's just this like whole thing. Like, and so how am I supposed to love you 100% if I don't love me 100%? And I think it's important too because we are both, okay, so we did the 16 personality tests.
Right.
And are we the same thing, or you're like a letter off? You're an INFJ and I'm an ENFJ, right? You're still in that.
Yeah, I'm like an ENFJ, something like that.
I'm an ENFJ,
I'm
so
like a moderator,
mediator, and I'm a protagonist. So like both of us are very we're empath, or empathic, whatever. And so we always feel the need to fix people.
Yeah.
Like even like down to like my childhood, like my mom needed me to be there, and I saw. Whatever, it's very deep rooted in me, like, I need to fix you. And then I realized, no, the only person I need to fix and work on is me.
It's yourself. Right.
And not that I don't have time or the energy to fix you, but that's on you.
Absolutely.
That's on you. That's yours.
Only you can hold yourself accountable.
Right.
Like you said, it begins with you and it ends with you.
Right.
And I think it probably wasn't like the best, I guess, analogy or metaphor, whatever you call it, but I was saying how when you wake up and you go in the bathroom, you look in the mirror and what do you see? You see yourself. You don't see, I mean, obviously you see the bathroom behind you, right? But you see yourself. So it begins with you and it's going to always end with you. So it's like when you're looking in the mirror, everything that's going wrong in your life, it's on you. It's on you. It's nobody else's fault because you are in control of 90% of things that happen in your life.
Right.
You're in control of when you wake up. You're in control of what you do on your day-to-day basis. If you choose to sit on your phone all day long and push that paperwork off to the side or push that assignment off to the side and not go to the gym for weeks on end or not apply yourself to that hobby or that job that you want, it's like, it's all on you.
Yeah,
at the end of the day, no one in this world is going to come over to you and be like, oh, let me pick you up and let me guide you through life. You might find a mentor who will do exactly that, mentor you, but it's essentially like someone giving you the answers to a quiz and you choosing not to use it. It's like they can help you as much as they can, but if you don't choose to apply yourself, then obviously you're never going to see any progress in your life.
Yeah. Yeah, I always just say, I'm not surprised. I mean, I don't always say because it's been like 3 days.
That you just learned this affirmation.
That I just learned the affirmation. But
she just learned this affirmation. She's going to go like, I've been saying this for months.
No, but it's in other words. Like,
right. No,
how do you expect to have this outcome when you're doing that?
Right.
Riddle me that. It makes no sense. Like,
no, and it doesn't.
It makes no sense.
And everybody always wants to put the blame on everybody else.
Yeah.
And it's like, you know what? When you learn to take accountability for your actions, that's strong within itself. Because you know what? Sometimes things do happen that aren't in your control, but you take it on the shoulder and you keep going and you realize maybe there are areas in my life that I am lacking and you need to improve on.
Yeah.
It's like taking that accountability into yourself.
And too, like, I know so many people who are like, oh my god, this happened to me. What? Stop being a victim.
Why me?
Oh my god. Oh my god, life happens to literally all of us.
Yeah.
You are not
in different forms.
Maybe you are a victim in some shape, way, or form.
Correct.
Fine.
But are you going to let that be your identity for the rest of your life?
But it's not your identity. It's not who you are. So just stop complaining. And I know a lot of people that are like, well, you don't understand because I...
And not to put you on blast.
Oh,
I'm not trying to.
I'm scared.
But if people only knew what it was like growing up in your life, it would be so easy for you to have that victim mentality and be like, well, I just had a really rough life and it is what it is. But instead you're like, F that. I want more and I know I deserve better because I am better than my past. And it was like so deep rooted in you. Most people don't have that, but it was so deep rooted in you in a younger age that you knew that your childhood wasn't going to be your identity for the rest of your life.
Nope, it wasn't.
And you didn't let it affect you.
No, it did affect me in a lot of ways. Yes, but I don't know what it. I do know what it was. It was the grace of God. I mean, literally, I was like, there were plates being thrown at me one night and I was like, I'm gonna go hide under my bed and pray to God. And I was like 3 or 4 and I was like, that's weird. Moving on. And so I don't know, but yeah, like I know a lot of, I'm not gonna always share my story with people when they're like, oh my God, so this and I'm this and I went through that, and I'm just like, sometimes, and even my story, like say I'm sharing my story with someone and I'm just like whatever, there's always someone else in this world that's experiencing something on another level. So it's like, you understand, like everyone goes through things, and I'm not dismissing your pain, I'm not dismissing your hurt,
right? Because
it does hurt and it's real, but don't stay in that mentality of like, oh, this happened to me, so I'm just gonna make excuses for the rest of my life. You might not have the power to choose where you come from, but you always have the power to choose where you go from there.
Oof, yes.
So,
that's
and
beautiful.
I remember seeing that quote, I think I was on Pinterest when I was in 7th grade, and I printed it out and put it like all over my journals and stuff, and all over, like, you know when you had to cover your books at school, I would write it on my stuff. So that just stuck with me for a really long time, and I was like, I'm gonna be really successful one day. I'm going to make my family really proud one day.
You are. Oh, yeah,
I'm going to change the world. I'm going to... So it was just this thoughts, and like I just felt it. And I was like, I can't do that with a victim mentality.
No, because if and like you said, things do happen to people. And by any means, we're not saying like, if something bad happened to you, big deal, get over it. No, not at all. Just understand this. It happened to you, and as unfortunate as it is, you cannot sulk in that for the rest of your life. It's hard to move on, and I get it, and I don't want to speak out of term here because sometimes like you don't know what everybody has gone through, and it could be very, very touchy, but it's like, if you let that be the identity for the rest of your life, you'll be 35 years old, living in an apartment, sitting there thinking to yourself, why didn't I make it in my life? Why haven't I made anything out of myself? It's like, well...
But are you surprised?
Because you had some negative experiences in your life, and you let those be your identity.
My eyelash is going crazy. Life happens for you, not to you. And everything... I have this written in my journal in the front cover. Everything that I've been through is like my power.
It's like the building blocks of your foundation.
Yes, to lead people, to help people, to like become more. Right. Everything that you've been through is for a reason. There is a reason for all of it. It's to help other people go through their grievings and their pain and their struggles and their hurts and all these things, because then you can be like, wow, I really understand you and I feel you right now. Let's get through this together. If you're in a space of like wanting to help people and change the world, whatever the case is, but life is not happening to you, it's happening for you. Had I not been through all those things, had you not been through all those things, you would be a completely different person.
Oh, absolutely.
Completely different person.
Yeah, no.
So
100%.
it's like, would I want to go through it again? Probably not. But I went through it and I'm through it and I learned so much.
Yeah, no, that's powerful. But like I said, you knew at a younger age, like, that wasn't what your identity was.
Heck no.
And that's strong.
Nope.
Me, unfortunately, it took me a little bit longer because what I was like dealing with, like going through middle school, and like, you know, I'll say I was picked on, and you know, people would make fun of me, and it definitely sucked, because it's like, why are people so mean? Why do people feel the need to project onto other people? And it's like, as I got older, I was like,
wow.
Oh, that's what it was. It was projecting their insecurities onto me, and it made them feel better about themselves. And it's like, as I got older, I started having all these realizations. And I'm like, yeah, it sucked going through what I went through, but it made me a stronger person today, because now I don't give a crap what you have to say about me.
You got thick skin.
It bounces right off of me. Shit, my brothers were making fun of me and beating my ass since I was a kid. It's just made my skin thicker.
Yeah.
And I'm so grateful for that, because life's not easy. You're gonna deal with a lot of shitty people. And I think we were talking about this one time. If you lived a life where it's only ever been good, every single day of your life it's been good, you've never been insulted, you never had anybody say anything bad to you, you get everything you want, you get the job, the car, the money, the this, the that, all the affection, right? If you have a life that is just perfect on all levels, the moment one bad thing happens, it's like your whole life is just on a downfall, and it's like, well, why did this happen to me, blah, 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 blah. Whereas if you live through those waves your entire life, where, and that's what it's just waves where it's good, well then it's bad, and it's good, and then it's bad, it's good, and then it's bad. You learned how to discern where you are in your life, and it's like, oh, this is a temporarily bad moment, and this is a good moment. And you learn how to appreciate both, because when you have those bad moments, you're like, I don't need to let these affect me terribly, because I know this is temporary. When those good moments come, you're that much happier, because you're like, I'm out of that moment, everything's going good now.
That just reminded me of that, and whatever, this is gonna sound childish, but I remember there was an episode of Fairly Odd Parents where he was like, I wish everybody was the same. And everyone and everything was gray, and they were blobs. Everything was like a gray blob. And so when I think about good and bad, I think about like, how can you appreciate the good if you don't go through the bad? But I also like don't believe in bad. I really don't. I don't believe in bad. I believe
just life lessons.
And I used to be really afraid to say that, but I really don't believe in bad. I believe that there are things that bring up different emotions, and you might not like the way that emotion feels, but we have emotions for a reason. Right? And not everything's going to be good, and not everything's bad. I don't know, I just feel like it's such a... Hear me out. Had we not gone through those things that brought those negative emotions, we wouldn't have that wisdom. So is it really all that bad?
No, not at all. I've had people, like when I'm talking to them, and this is even like a couple of years ago, I'd be talking to people that are 30, 40, 50, whatever, and we'd have conversations, and at the end they'd be like, yo, you're pretty wise for your age, you're pretty smart for your age, and I credit that to what I went through growing up, because I was so tired of being who I was, because I felt like I wasn't good enough, that during the process of loving myself, finding who I am, doing what makes me the happiest. Like for me, it was definitely the gym.
Yeah.
Because I didn't have the fastest metabolism as a kid.
Oh my God.
So I was a little chunky. And when I got into the gym, I found a new version of myself, and I loved it, and I loved working out because I saw progress, and it was something that I loved. And so it was just like, if it hadn't been for those experiences, I wouldn't be able to be who I am today.
I sent you a video on Instagram.
You sent me a lot of videos on Instagram.
But it was this one where the guy was like, me learning how to flirt because I used to be like an ugly duckling.
Yeah.
And like, I think it's like really cool that you were an ugly duckling because I was a hideous duckling.
And now like, you're gorgeous.
Oh, thank you. I received that fully. But yeah, I was very loud. I'm still loud. I'm obnoxious. I don't even care. It's who I am. I want to live, and this is what brings me joy. I'm joyful, and I have joy, and I'm loud. I don't want to follow your rules if they don't make any sense. And I grew up north in Connecticut, and we used to go BMX riding and skateboarding and playing in the woods and playing in the snow. And our parents would be like, all right, 5 o'clock hits, the street lights come on, you're coming inside. So
that's funny.
I was a tomboy, and I had a lot of kids pick on me for that. And I was like, I literally don't care. I literally don't care because I am living my best life.
Absolutely.
And honestly, when I walked myself to kindergarten for the first day. You know what I mean? My school's right up the street. I walked myself there. I was like, y'all are worried about what your mama packed you for lunch. I'm worried about what's for dinner. I grew up fast. So all those little things that you're worried about, I'm not worried about those things. I'm worried about having fun because I'm not home right now. This is great. Judge me all you want. I literally don't care.
Yeah.
Let's have some fun. Let's like live life. So, you know,
people take life so serious.
They do. Life is not about
Don't lose your inner child.
Never.
Because
never.
I'm trying to relate it. Not to be childish again, but it's like,
do it.
Look at Squidward. Squidward is irritated, aggravated, just mad and annoyed every single day. I don't blame him. He's got to deal with the SpongeBob. I was about to do the laugh.
Do it. Do it.
He has to deal with hearing every single day.
I love it.
He's got to deal with that every single day. So I don't blame him. But it's like when you lose your inner child, you take life way too serious. And don't get me wrong, when you're at work, obviously take your job serious.
I mean, yeah, but you know,
certain occasions, obviously take them serious. Like an interview, don't be sitting there and acting a fool. So certain aspects of life, yeah, you gotta take serious. But it's like if you hold on to that inner child, you'll always kind of like stay happy because it's like you're still doing the things that you love, whether it's riding a bike or riding a skateboard or if you're into video games, playing video, whatever it is, like it's like making sure you stay connected with that inner child so you don't lose that inner happiness.
My brain is going wild right now. There was this podcast I listened to. I can't remember with who because I watched so many, but they were talking about the brain activity in children. And it's at a different level when kids are a certain age, and they're happier, and they smile more, and they laugh more, and they're dreamers, and they're fearless, and they step out of their comfort zone.
Right.
And they're saying bringing back your inner child will actually help heal you and get you to where you want to be.
That's
because
strong.
No, it's like a thing. It's like, you know, when you sleep and you're in REM mode or whatever it's called, and like your brain is like healing your body or whatever. Like, I don't know. I need to go back to class, but whatever the case is,
I know what you're getting.
When you adopt that child-like mentality, you're actually like really healing yourself because you're allowing yourself to be happy. You're allowing yourself to dream. Like for me and for you, I think you have a vision board. I have a vision board, and I dream, and I look at that vision every single day, and I'm like, I will have that. That is mine. Thank you, God, for blessing me with that. It's already mine, and I'm manifesting that, and I'm speaking it into existence. But that's what children do. They're like, I'm a doctor. I'm a doctor. I want to be a doctor. And we don't question them, but we're like, oh, I guess I'll just apply for this crap 9 to 5 because that's what I deserve. No, you're a doctor. Go do it and stop. Why do we stop dreaming? Why do we stop doing that?
Because as we get older, people start telling us, okay, it's time to start growing up.
No, it's not.
Time to go to school.
Nah.
Time to do this. Time to do that. Time to do this. Time to be mature. Try to get a job. Responsibilities.
Which, yeah, you have, but
don't lose that inner child.
You don't have to lose that inner child. You can still like live your life and have fun and like you don't have to fit in this box.
And like I was saying before, we live in an era now that, for example, I don't remember the kid's name, but there was like this 4-year-old kid, might have been younger. Don't kill me.
What happened?
He was doing toy reviews on YouTube.
Bruh, he has his own toy collection.
That's it. He had a YouTube channel where he was reviewing toys, and he makes millions.
I know exactly.
Millions.
I know exactly who you're talking about.
So what I'm getting at is, now in this day and age, it is so great to be alive because you could literally take anything that you love and make something out of it. Don't always start with the intentions of like, let's just say you like making pillowcases for a living, right?
It's a nice pillowcase.
It's a lot nicer than this fluffy one we gotta throw out.
Stop, you're attacking my pillows.
Or you like
what
making...
did they do to you?
Nothing. Or you like making shitty rundown shoes and selling them at high prices for no reason.
You're attacking Golden Goose.
Yeah. More like let it loose.
I have to pee. You're gonna make me pee my pee.
So anyways, like I was saying, if you just pick what you like and then you enjoy, like I said, making pillowcases, right? If you just start with the idea of like, this is what I love and I want to show it to the world, because you know what? Maybe the 500 people in your town might not give a damn, but someone out in freaking Kentucky would be like, damn, I love that pillowcase.
Or New York.
Or New York.
Let's not target Kentucky here.
Sorry,
or
Kentucky.
the pillow
we
business.
Love you out there.
There's some cool business owners out there with some cool pillows.
Absolutely.
Look at the tassels on this thing. Like, ooh. Boop. It's great.
It's phenomenal.
It's great.
But still, what I'm just getting at is like, whatever that you like in life, don't let anybody tell you like, oh, you like making pillowcases? That's stupid. Go get it. No.
It is my job.
It's where your heart is. It's what you love to do. And guess what? That 9 to 5 isn't going to make you as happy as making the pillowcases. And this is not the greatest example, but it's just the quickest thing that I saw that I'm like, you know.
Yeah.
So, yeah, don't ever let people's limitations limitate you, because you could become successful. And if you don't, the only reason is because of your own self. Because, again, it begins with you and it ends
with you. It really does, yeah.
So, I think this was a great start to a podcast.
So I have to pee so bad.
If anybody... She's got to pee. If you want to do your sign-off, do your sign-off. I just want to say, I hope we were able to bring some type of knowledge, or you received anything from this podcast, and... we're just going to keep this thing going.
We have like really good rants. Like we'll be literally getting ready for bed at like 10 o'clock, like right when we want to go to bed, and we'll be up until like 2 a.m. just being like, I wish we recorded that.
Sometimes I wish that I don't acknowledge the conversations you want to start, because I got to wake up at 4:30 in the morning, and as soon as I start a conversation with her, it'd be like, it's 10 o'clock. Yeah, we can have this conversation. It's 11:30. I gotta go to bed.
But it's funny though, because like I have these thoughts and I'm just like, hey, you ever think about this?
And I'm like, actually, I have. Yeah, so we're gonna try to save a majority of that for this podcast. Yeah. As much as we can.
Yeah.
And
I'm excited for it.
Yeah, no, I'm excited for this.
We are definitely.
Sorry to go off rough. Sorry.
No, the startup was actually fantastic. They needed that energy. They needed that energy. I have to be so bad, but I do want to say, like, I'm really excited for us, and, like, I just want to say, like, I feel like the world needs us. It really does. I feel like everyone needs a little bit of Anthony and Shelby in their life because we're coming out of a place of of love and like realness and compassion and like go ahead.
No,
I'm not
interrupting.
No.
What? You're what? Go ahead, shoot.
My mission for this, like
okay.
my reasoning behind this is not even necessarily the views. Like we can get 2 views on this and they could be like 2 minutes in.
Right.
And I'd be like, okay, cool. Because I know one day, because we are going to continue to make these videos, it's that slow progression, it's that invisible progress that we're going to keep chipping away at. My mission for this and the reason for me doing this is I want people to feel loved. I want people to know that they're not alone. I want them to be able to have someone to look up to and be like, wow, you guys are having that conversation. Or
also to understand that
you have so much fuzz on.
I'm getting rid of these pillows.
No.
Also for people to understand that whatever it is that you're dealing with in your life, you're not alone.
You're not alone.
You're not alone. Yeah, maybe your situation might differ from mine and from hers, but there's somebody else in a different state or a different country that is experiencing something relatively close, and you're not alone.
Yeah.
We all have feelings, we all have emotions, we all experience some type of hurt and turmoil in our life, but you're not alone in it. You don't have to deal with it by yourself. You could check out podcasts like the one we're gonna build or other people that have built, and you'll be able to relate to that, or they'll just be talking about something and you'll be like, that's speaking to my soul.
Yes, and a lot of people don't have that, so like this is my way of saying I'm talking to you, I'm here, I see you, feel you, hear you.
Shoot, I'm listening.
So I was making a video today where I was saying it's important the things that you listen to and put into your life and the mentors you have. So I kind of like, my mission for this too is to kind of like be that mentor. Like we're here to have these hard conversations, these silly conversations, these random conversations, because you are who you surround yourself with. And some people don't have anyone to have these conversations with.
Nope.
Like before I met you, like I have a couple girlfriends that are, you know, they're on their journey.
Right.
But I'm like, I have no one to talk to right now. Except for the people on my TV that I'm listening to to their podcast, like Aubrey Marcus. Yeah. They sit there. I'd be like, I see you, Blue.
I see you,
Blue. I see you, Aubrey. I see you, Clark. I see all you guys. And like, I'm relating to you right now. But like, I want to have that for other people our age in our town, in our whatever too. Like,
no, absolutely.
I want them to feel like you're loved.
Yeah.
You're not alone.
No, you're not. And like you said, the reason
you
for...
won't break my soul.
You won't break my soul. I'm going to spare you guys and not sing because...
Ooh, baby, you won't break my soul.
I can't say the same for her. Keep going. No, but like you said, your mission is to not reach every single body in the world, but at least hit one person that needed to hear this, that it'll resonate with, and that'll help start shifting their mindset. And that's the same reason that I want to change this, because I've noticed in my life I get the most joy and happiness out of watching the words that I speak affect someone's life, and they'll be like, wow, I never looked at it that way. Thank you for this conversation. This actually helped me look at this in a different perspective, and now blah 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 blah. It's like I get more happiness and satisfaction out of helping other people than anything. So if this hits 1,000 people, great. If it hits one person, great. That's all that really is. So
it's like beautiful to like hear someone say that, because I feel like a lot of people will only do something if it gives them something in return, and you're doing it out of the kindness of your heart to like help someone. And same, I want to do this, to give.
Yeah, absolutely.
Just to give.
So hopefully what we had to give today was valuable.
I think it was.
Had some good little gems in it for people. And we're just excited to keep this going. We're probably going to do this like once a week, right?
Yeah. I think it's important to do it once a week. I mean, we literally have these combos every day, so doing it once a week is like
nothing. It should be us having a conversation now, just with people watching us.
Oh my gosh, we're just like sprinkling some truth and love and light on your day.
Absolutely.
Take it.
Take it or leave it. We don't care. We're gonna keep this thing going. So, thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. And
Stay golden, pony boy.
stay golden, pony boy. Whatever. Just sign off the thing. Say bye.
Say bye.
See you guys.
I have to be so bad. I don't think I can stand up.